All right, so next wall, got everything finished on our back wall. So we're gonna start on the niche wall, mainly just because this is really kind of sensitive with the aligning of everything, and then we can easily match up the other side to the width of the entire side on this side. So our initial plan was to have 36 inches to the edge of our shower, basically giving us about an inch past what our shower pan is going to be. You want to have your shower doors right on that seam, so having a little tile coming outside of your shower really makes it look nice, and you're able to mount everything and not have any trouble with your shower doors. But what we're going to be doing is just a common way of edging is to use a Schluter edge. So this is just the gold colored, trendy thing going these days. And we're just going to make this the edge of our tile. So most of the time I do recommend buying a Schluter edge that it matches the size of your tile, as long as you can cover the edge. You just don't want to have a smaller edging than you do tile, or you're really going to have a problem having everything aligned. Now, the one stipulation I have here with my niche is going to dictate me. Hopefully you kind of planned ahead and made this work, but we're going to be 45ing, making a 45 edge on the edge of our tile, and then we're going to return, basically creating a return around the niche so that we don't have any metal edging going around here. It's all going to look like tile going around. So this is going to be critical to have enough space to build out on your niche. So our plan was to basically go right up here to the edge, and then we'll be able to 45 it. So we have a kind of a mark here of where we want to have the edge of our tile. And so we'll just put a laser on that mark, and that should work. Just give yourself enough room to overfold this, and that's the biggest deal. So we'll go ahead and set our edging first. So we're just going to bring this straight down to the floor, but let's just cut off some of this backing so that we just have the actual Schluter edge to cut. Apply some thin set here. Just fully embed that Schluter edging here. Could even double check it with your level. So you got 35 and a half. Let me make sure that this is gonna bend over here. Yeah, we got plenty of room here because this is just gonna butt straight up to our edging. That looks good. It's at 35 and a half. 35 and a half. So that's all looking good. Now that we have the edging set, now we can just butt everything to that and work our way over to the corner. Trim this up as needed. Yeah. So as you can see around the niche, we definitely overcompensated for what we need. So we're just going to run this full towel right here, and then we'll get probably cut another piece of cement board because we got almost, I think, that inch that we were looking for. Yeah, 1.25 inches. So, it's a little extreme, but having the niche a lot bigger than what you need saves a lot of headache. And really, we did some planning on this, obviously, but at the end of the day, this stuff, you can pretty much put that niche anywhere and be able to just go up the next tile layer and make it work. Take a couple pieces of cement board and just thin set that into place. Everything's waterproof underneath of this, so this is just literally just for filler. So we can bond our sill to. Okay, so that does a good job there. All right, so this is our sill plate. So this is going to come out and protrude outside of our tile. And this is the template that I created in order for the granite company to make it. So I just handed them this, and then they made this nice piece of quartz. I didn't want to have them cut out the notches because I wasn't 100% sure where this was how this was gonna look. Or it just gives you more flexibility. If you try to have them cut out the notches, then you're kind of stuck with what you got. This is gonna be our center piece of tile right here. So this is our 12-inch background. So we're basically just having one piece of 12-inch going straight up the back. Now we have a good 3/4 of an inch on either side of it that we have to build in. 6 inches to the center, so 9 1/8. So that's our center. And then let's just go ahead and just mark the sides here. 3.5 inches. So that'll be our cut, or this section's right here. So it does stick out about 2 inches, but that's going to give us plenty of room for additional space on that niche. So we'll use this as our template. Okay. We're going to notch right here so that this can slide in just slightly behind here. So just making a little bit of a notch, because otherwise trying to cut, I mean that's a square cut, that's not the end of the world, but it's going to be a little bit nicer to tuck that behind there and then just cut out a little area there so that can slide behind it. We'll then set this into place. Just want to make sure that this is pitching. It doesn't have to be extreme, it just has to be enough to make sure it's draining when water hits there. All right, so now we got to make some 45s on this tile to wrap around. So the easiest way to go about 45ing is to use a factory edge, just back cutting this back edge off. If you try to make a 45 straight into the main tile, you're going to end up having some chips. I don't even care if you're using a wet saw, whatever you're using, most likely this ceramic's going to end up having a problem. So you want to just use the factory edge. That's why I'm using a full piece here and 45ing it into the niche. This is a 45 miter tool, so it just locks in. Pretty simple contraption, just basically fits it up so that you can be able to wedge your tile. Now, if you're doing an outside corner, you would go this way, or I'm sorry, an inside corner I should say, because it's going to bevel it inwards, but we're going to be flipping it upside down. I was cutting too far into it. So yeah, if you stay away from that edge, you'll eliminate any basically chips on the edges. So that's really the best way to go about it. Plus we need these full tiles to go around that edge. Okay, so we're gonna notch this guy. .45 around, and we get the back, we'll be able to just even this up. So we can just continue the 45s up. Okay, so what we're going to do is miter this entire side to fold into the niche. Here I got the 45 all the way there. So we can always build up a niche to meet your tile work. So we're just going to use a couple pieces of cement board, But if you're doing your shower out of foam board, you can take just those scrap pieces and do the same thing. So this is just a real easy way to build this up. These guys, these little tiny ones really help out for just precision. This one, since we have such a longer, wider deal, you can't really bring a 3-inch in there because it's over 3.5. So we're just going to stack them just like we did the sides for the top. So about in 2 hours, we'll clean up all this extra thin set, because you know there's a lot of it. This is all intricate work, so you end up getting it all over the place, and it's going to be a lot easier to clean this all up in a couple of hours. But all in all, I think that went pretty well. Everything's spaced evenly. Corners look good. Make sure that they're all pushed in, because there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it later. There's no sharpening them up or touching anything up later. But looks good.